All right, everybody. Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. And you know what time it is. It is time for an injury report review. Both the Seahawks and the Rams have released their injury reports for Wednesday, and we got some stuff to go through. I will tell you right now, the list on one side is fairly long, but as always, you actually have to sort through the list a little bit to figure out what means what. So we're going to get it from Nemhauser today. And we got this image from his tweet here. We're going to go ahead and start with the Seahawks side. And as you can see, they filled the whole page. Now, the good news is a lot of this stuff is not really anything that we have to be concerned about. But let's talk it through, starting with some of the guys that aren't injured at all. You've got DeMarcus Lawrence, you've got JSN, and you've got Leonard Williams all getting rest days with limited participation. They are fine. All right, guys, before we go any further into this video, let's take a minute so I can tell you about my friends over at Sleeper. If you're not using Sleeper this year for daily fantasy, then you are missing out. Download the app and get ready to have more fun with sports this year. Make all kinds of picks on over-unders. Get on over there. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever your sports fancy is. I've got some picks going for this week, the conference championship games. I got the over on Cooper Kupp, 30.5 receiving yards. I got Ken Walker scoring an anytime touchdown. I got Mevis over on the Rams kicking at least 2 field goals. And I got Drake May with the under on 227 passing yards. So get on over to Sleeper. Use promo code SBN, that is SBN, to get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100 and go have more fun with sports this year. Okay, so now let's get to some of the full participants today, including Elijah Arroyo, full participant with the knee. He's been a full participant for a while now. It's just a matter of, do we have room for him on the active roster yet? If the answer is yes, then I think he'll be called up. If not, then we will probably continue to kind of just put him on ice because there's not a very convincing role for him right now on the way this team is playing. This is a run the ball team right now. And I know that the Charbonnet injury might change that math a little bit, but I don't think Arroyo is going to get activated this week. If anything, we need more roster spots for running backs to replace Charbonnet than we did before. So he is healthy, it seems like. Also healthy, and this is big, George Holani with the hamstring, full participation, and we have now heard from some people that he was ready to go weeks ago and was just being held out because we didn't have room for him at that point in time. If that is true, and it sounds like it's true, then he should be ready to go this weekend, and that, I think, is going to be a pretty big deal. So there is some optimism around Holani being able to play this weekend, which I think is a noticeable upgrade over Cam Akers or Velez Jones Jr. All right. Another full participant was Tyrese Knight, who did actually get to play a decent amount against the Niners on Saturday. He was a full participant with that shoulder injury that he had last week, so that should be fine. And Chaz Surratt was a full participant with the ankle injury. Again, we don't really have room for him on the roster right now, so I don't think he's going to get activated, but it's pretty clear that he's as healthy as he's going to be. And if we needed him, we could call him up. So I don't think that we will, but so it is. All right. Now let's get to some of the limited participants on this list. You've got Bryce Cabledew. Don't know when he got hurt because he didn't. Yeah, he was inactive on Saturday. So I don't know what happened there, but obviously that one's not that big of a deal. Sam Darnold with the oblique remains limited, but it's pretty clear what's going on here, right? I don't think that there's much mystery here. They're limiting his reps so he can play at 100% on game day. So there's no reason to really be concerned about this anymore. There may be some pain, but he can take a Toradol shot and be fine for the actual game itself. And in the meantime, they're just not going to put too much in his lap because of they don't need to. And nothing really to worry about there, but there you go. Limited participation today. Limited also was Uchenna Nwosu with a hamstring injury. Did not see that coming out of the game on Saturday. So that's new. But again, if you're limited on Wednesday, you're probably good for game day. The most I can say is that Nwosu was not particularly effective in that game. There was one play where Purdy kind of shook him pretty bad. Maybe that's where it happened. I don't know. But doesn't seem like it's anything overly concerning, although hamstrings can be weird at times, obviously. Robbie Oots limited today with a neck injury. I think that's new, but the fact that he's limited today is a really good sign. Um, we know that he played limited snaps in that Niners game because of an injury. This is probably what it is. I'm guessing. I don't think he was on the injury report last week, so that's the only thing it could be. But seems like he'll be good to go, and obviously he doesn't have a huge role to play on this team right now. So those are your limited participants. Let's get to the DNPs. Keep in mind this is a Wednesday practice, and there is going to be some pulling back on the reins a little bit compared to a Thursday or Friday, so we definitely have to wait a day or two for more information. Nevertheless, let's get into it, starting with Charles Cross. Charles Cross did not participate in practice. One thing to note is there is no more hamstring injury listed for Cross. It's just the foot. So what he had previously from the Colts game, that they're saying is good to go. The only thing that's not good to go is the foot. Now, he did participate in the walkthrough earlier today, so it's not a disaster or anything. I'm not overly concerned about this, but he is a DNP today. So read into that as you will. Remember, McDonald already said Cross does not necessarily need to practice to be able to play on Sunday. Also a DNP, and this is why the Cross thing is so significant. You've got Josh Jones, DNP. He's got the knee, he's got, excuse me, the knee and the ankle at the same time, which makes it less likely that he'll be ready to go for Sunday. And it makes it more likely that he's just kind of broken down physically a little bit right now. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting, unfortunately. It sounds like Josh Jones is just held together by duct tape, and I don't have a great feeling for his availability coming forward, but we will see what happens tomorrow. The fact that it's two different things, and the fact that we were told that he was incredibly beat up and really gutted it out in week 18 kind of gives me the sense that he's not coming back, but hopefully he does. Also DNP, and this is very significant because of the Cross and Jones injury, Amari Kite, DNP with a knee injury. I don't know where that came from. I don't know when that happened. Again, it's Wednesday. I'm not going to worry about it, but it is worth noting the Seahawks played on Saturday, so they've already had an extra day that they normally would not have compared to playing on Sunday, and they've still got a pretty significant amount of injuries listed here. So definitely a little bit concerning. That left tackle spot could be really bad. Like right now, who's our left tackle? Is it Mason Richmond? Is it Bryce Cable Dew? Is it it gets rough, guys. And I have optimism that Cross will be ready to go for the game on Sunday, but this is ugly right now. We've got 3 left tackles not practicing at all right now. And there are some other question marks as well, although that's the main thing. I think everything else, whatever. I'm not worried about Darnold at this point, not worried about Nwosu, not worried about Oots. But that left tackle spot, I want to see some better news tomorrow. If we don't get better news tomorrow, it'll be time to kind of clench up a little bit going into the weekend. All right, so that's what we got. Keep an eye on Cross, Jones, and Kite. The rest, I'm not really tripping on. The rest, I think everybody else is going to be fine. All right, let's jump over to the Rams side. They had a walkthrough today, so I wouldn't take anything you see here all that seriously. But in the walkthrough, they estimate the practice report from the walkthrough. You can see they've got not so many questions. They've got Quentin Lake, a DNP, but he's sick. And the fact that if you're sick on a Wednesday, you're almost definitely going to be ready to play on Sunday. Like, it takes a lot for an illness to knock out an NFL player. They can shoot themselves up with all kinds of drugs. They can do all kinds of stuff to make sure they can get through the game. Like, this is not something that I think is going to be a problem for him, especially because it's happening so early. I read that he basically quarantined himself from the team, so We'll see what happens, but I imagine Quentin Lake will be fine. Byron Young, also a DNP, and he's got the knee injury. That's their sack leader. That's their best edge rusher this year, at least in terms of getting to the quarterback. So that would be significant. We'll see what's going on there as the week goes on. You got Emmanuel Forbes, who did get dinged up in that Bears game and left with a limited participation today with a shoulder injury. And that's a guy who is very important to them because they are so beat up in that secondary. They're very thin at corner. They've had a lot of issues keeping corners on the field this year. They're down to some backups and backups to backups back there at various points. And I do think that has been hurting them. And then you got Josiah Stewart. Also, I believe he's an edge rusher for them with a knee, but full participant today. Should be fine. Now, there's definitely some stuff that is not listed here that we as Seahawks fans are aware of. Stafford is not 100%. You can tell by watching that Rams game against the Bears. We know about the finger. That's not going to get listed here, I don't think, but the finger is still probably not right. We know about Puka. I don't think Puka is 100% right now. You can tell watching him play. And I would also go into Devontae Adams. I don't think that he will ever be okay for the rest of this season because of all the stuff he's had to deal with his leg this year. So they're gutting it out, and I'm sure they're going to play, but there is some stuff not listed here that is worth considering. All right, so that's your Wednesday injury report. Let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys later. Go Hawks. Gonna stream later on Twitch. Probably no more videos today, but we'll see. And everybody have a good rest of your day. Go Hawks, and let's go get it.